Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different as I'm reviewing a beauty product which I tend not to do on this channel much. I do it on my vlog and things, but I'm not the best person to talk about beauty as I'm not like an expert at it. But today I really did want to discuss this product as there's been so much hype around it and I feel really lucky that I've managed to get my hands on it. I'm usually really behind on beauty trends, so this is quite a new thing for me being in time with one. And I am talking about, of course, the Eloise Beauty Foundation Teardrop Brush, which comes in gold and a rose gold. This is the gold colour, and when I went onto the website to get it a couple of weeks ago, the rose gold was sold out. I believe they are now both sold out, but they are available for pre-order, I'm pretty sure. So Eloise Beauty is a new company. They literally only stock these two brushes at the moment, but they've taken Instagram by storm, and just on appearance wise you can see why. They are beautiful brushes. They're really different. They're almost kind of like what you call boot polishers. They kind of follow the same sort of style as what you call the artiste brushes, which were really popular. I think like this time last year actually they came out. They're gorgeous to look at. You're meant to basically hold them like this. So this is meant to be for your fingers to curve and you can just buff foundation in. It is huge. If I put it next to my face for comparison, it's a really, really big brush. If I do that, you can see it just takes up most of my cheek already. And the website says that these have 1,000 bristles and each one is cashmere. To be honest, it's really hard for me to tell the difference between this and synthetic materials. I'm not the best at telling it wise, but it is really densely packed. I have tried this twice already just with a liquid foundation when I was in a hurry, and it is, I have to say, there's really not much product pickup at all. That's kind of the colour, and that's exactly what it would look like when you buy it as well. You can't really tell there's any product on there, so that's really good about the brush from what I've tried. You have a bigger base here, obviously for foundation and things, and then a little tip here which I'm presuming is to get into the nooks and crannies of your face, or under the eyes, around the nose area, and also for contouring and things like that. This retails at $34.99 and then there's always like £5 shipping, so basically £40 if you're in the UK. I don't know how much shipping and taxes is in the US. Do write in the comments if you know down below if you have one of these. They are a small company, so at the moment they're shipping via Royal Mail and Signed For, which is why packaging is quite expensive on such a small item. It comes in a box which I've popped somewhere and I literally have no idea where, but if I find it I'll put the image in the corner. But it is nicely packaged. You do feel like you're getting something special. Price wise it is cheaper than the artiste brushes, and it kind of is around the same as Bobbi Brown brushes, which is £30 for their face brush. So it is quite affordable in comparison with other brands, but I understand still expensive overall, but it is so beautiful. I feel like you're getting what you pay for with this appearance wise, but how it works you'll see in a minute. So with liquid foundations I think this works beautifully. It's really quick, really easy. Around, because it's so big, it's quite hard to kind of get around these areas. I haven't tried the artiste brushes, I've tried like dupe ones, so I can't really comment in comparison on that. But it's so quick, you can literally get your foundation done in like 30 minutes, like 30 seconds. I love how it doesn't pick up product. I literally just like sanitize it with sanitizing water afterwards just for hygiene reasons. But I think really you will only need to clean this maybe once every 2 weeks if you're sanitizing it as you go along with product build up. It obviously looks beautiful on the red table. I haven't really tried it with cream products that much, which I'm going to try in this video. But yeah, I will show you how it works and kind of give my review as I'm going along. So first thing I'm going to do is I've already got my eyes done, as you can see. I look quite tired at the moment because I'm not wearing anything on the base, but because my eyes are like quite smoky, I find that makes your bag stick out if you're not wearing any concealer or anything. So I'm just going to prime my face using the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. Love this primer, so cheap, like £5. I think it's sold out because Wayne Goss did a video on it. But I do think you can pre-order it, so I'm just going to rub that on my fingers. There's no point doing primer with a brush because it just makes your brush dirtier. I think it makes your product cling more to the brush, and also you don't really need like an even coverage on it because it's all see-through. So I'm just going to let that dry for like a few seconds. So the foundation I'm going to be using to do is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour one. This is heavy duty stuff. It's drugstore obviously. Can't remember how much it retails for. I got it from Asda and I think it was like £7, really good and affordable. This is really heavy stuff, so it's actually quite good to see, I think, because you know like medium coverage foundations are quite easy to blend out and things like that. Like, you can even do it with your fingers, but it's harder with heavy duty stuff because it's thicker, not as runny, harder to shift around. So this is a really good test of how good the brush is, I think. So the way I found this worked best was if I do it on my face and then buff it all in with the brush. Probably put way too much. Because this brush doesn't have much product pickup, it's quite hard to kind of know how much to put on because it's so different to what you usually do. So my mirror is there. Oh god, I did not balance my mirror correctly. Right, let's try this. There we go. So I'm going to use the brush just to place it on my face before buffing it in. I'm going to use the tip end, the smaller end. Now I literally got the tiniest bit on my brush there and this is going so far. And I do think that's the brush, not the foundation. What's quite nice with the brush is I'm noticing now with, oh my god, I've got so much spare product. Right. What's quite nice with the brush is you can kind of stipple with it as well if you want. So that's gone so far. And like there's still a little bit of product on there, but that's because I haven't finished dabbing it. So what I'm going to do now is that, look, there's still some left on my hand and that was from like 3 pumps worth of foundation. So I'm going to go all over and then if there's anywhere I want more coverage, I'm going to go back on the hand and pick that stuff up. So this is using the big end. Something I will say before I do it is I find this handle bit really uncomfortable. I'm trying to like hold it a bit more like that and I feel like that's going to apply way too much pressure, so it's really hard to kind of know how much pressure to apply. Now because this brush is so big, I'd actually recommend doing your eye makeup afterwards because I feel like I'm going to get it in and over my eye makeup. What you think of the coverage. Okay, so this is obviously like foundation. It's pretty well, kind of hard for me to tell here because of the light like really bright in my eyes, but it's pretty well covered actually, quite even. The only places it's hard was right up here, right where my dark circles are, and like where there's sort of maybe like a bit smudged mascara. Hard for me to get up here because the brush is so big, and also around these corners, so probably gonna just have to go in with a concealer brush or like a beauty blender. There you can kind of see a bit of creasing where it's too hard for me to get up there. Had I not had my mascara on, oh, and I smudged my eyebrow. If I had not had my mascara on beforehand, then I think it would be a little easier. Nose was also a little bit hard to get the full coverage on, but for the rest of the face it was so good. Use my moustache, I need to get that bleach real quick, and it does give a good coverage. This is just one layer of foundation, so I've still got a little bit left on my hand, which I think the brush will definitely pick up, so I'm just going to go over that and just kind of go around this nose area a bit and a little bit on my cheeks. Forehead I'm going to leave, same with the chin area. Alright, so it's 2 layers of foundation. It's pretty good full coverage, pretty, let me have a look at my mirror here because it's going to be easier for me. Pretty even, pretty happy about that, and that's a thick foundation. The only thing, like I said, is I can't get up too high here. And on the nose it was a little bit harder to do because my nose, although it's very long, it's quite thin. So that was quite hard with that brush without it getting like caught in my eyelashes and things. But it is super quick. I think it's such an even coverage, like it's such a handy thing to use. Alright, so next thing I'm going to go with concealer. Really annoying, I can't find my Rimmel Match Perfect one because I think that's like a really good concealer and would be good to test it. But instead I'm going to use the Fab Brows Contour Kit. A bit confusing because it's contour kit even though they're called Fab Brows. But this is an amazing contour kit. Like you can see how much I've hit pan on it already. Well, code by the way for this for a discount, which is Bron Girl. I'll leave it in the bar below. And that's not an affiliate code or anything, that's just for you guys to get money off. So what I'm going to do is apply it with like a little paintbrush, concealer paintbrush, just around my eyes, and then I'll buff it in with the brush because it's, like I said, I need to get up in this bit and I don't think that's going to be able to reach it. So I'm going to use the shade Nude and then like transition into Vanilla. Let's see how this blends out. So I don't know how well the camera can see it, but I've got basically 2 different colours here. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm just going to use this bit here and blend it, and hopefully that will go well. But it's kind of, it's so hard to get up here without getting it on my eyelashes. Okay, so where the brush is so big, what it can do is it tends to pick up product and put it somewhere you don't want. So this has dragged it a lot further down than I actually wanted it, and I was going like this a little bit, but nothing compared to my other brushes. So that's a slight problem where it's so big. Okay, so not as much success with the cream contour products. As you can see, it still looks really quite bright white against my face, which I don't particularly want. I'm going to finish it off actually with just this concealer brush because it's so hard to get up here without ruining my eye makeup. Okay, so I thought I'd again bring you in close and you can see a comparison. So this side I've actually gone over with the paintbrush, and I've used my fingers a little bit. And you can see it's alright lip blended, like it's not too bad. Beauty blender is the best thing, but it's like pretty good around here. You can kind of see where it goes highlights, and then kind of where it's slightly darker but it's quite good fade. Here on the other hand, it's just not that well blended around here. It's because you can't get high enough. It's brought it way too far down. Oh my god, my moustache, sorry. And you can really see where it changes, and look at that creasing amount there. So I'm going to fix this side up. On the chin, however, where it's quite a smooth area and like there's lots of like flesh to play with, it's obviously blended it really nicely, but around here it's just too difficult to use. On the nose it's done an okay job, but I'm going to finish off using I actually think I'm going to use my fingers and just a paintbrush. Kind of go into it, see that finger's really helping it already. Okay, so the highlighting and concealing wasn't great because you couldn't get up in those areas. I think we've established that. However, I think the cream contouring is going to be okay because it still did a right job of blending it out on the chin. You can see how nicely it blended out, and I have to say those contour colours are like by far the best ones I use, and they are not hard to blend out. So really, I do think that was the shape of the brush, maybe letting it down for a bit. I do think this is more designed for foundation, but we will see how it works when doing the cheekbones in the darker colour. This I'm going to use a much cheaper product actually. I'm going to use, where's it gone? This foundation stick from Primark. I actually really rate this as a contour product. It's obviously way too dark for me. That's the shade. It's not too orangey, it's got like a little bit ashy to it, so I'm just going to use it on my cheeks and then buff that out using the brush. I'm not going to bother doing my chin or anything today just because I don't know if I'm even leaving that house. So I'm just going to do it on my cheeks, and also that's going to be the easiest way for you to see. It's obviously the most prominent thing on my face, so you'll be able to see whether it actually buffs that out. So let's give that a go. I'm going to use a lot less product than I usually would. I'm going to dot it instead of doing lines because I like this just doesn't pick up product much to its attributes. That's a really good thing, but it's just kind of like getting a bit used to that, using a lot less product than I usually would. Done that a little bit too low, but I'm just going to use this. I'm going to swoop up with it because I have done it a little on the low side, and I'm going to use this pointy end again, and hopefully that will work. Okay, the pointy end, I'm not sure whether I've just had product on it before, but it's kind of like the brushes are separating a little bit. I think that's because I've just literally just used it, so I'm actually going to have to kind of just use it and try and buff it all out together. That's actually worked beautifully on quite a cheap product. Like you can barely see it, but you can just see there's a slight, almost like a fake shadow going across there. That side you can really see where that's quite light now, and start with that, which is kind of the look I wanted. I don't want like harsh lines. This is like just an everyday sort of look, so I don't want to be too contoured out. That coverage on my nose is not done very well. My nose has slightly uneven skin tone anyway, so where there's been a product on top of it, it's kind of a break. I don't like that. I might have to go over that again. We'll see what it looks like with powder, but I'm not very impressed with how that's actually played out. And I know it's not the contour creams because they are bad. But yeah, quite happy with that. It's done a good job with the dark contouring. We have more space to play with. Alright, and now I'm going to do the highlight, and I'm using the L'Oreal True Match highlight in the liquid, no, what's it called? Rose Glow, which is gorgeous. It's like an icy rose. I'm just going to dab that with my fingers. With highlight, I don't have like a particular point I just like to put. I just like to put it over my face. I'm just going to, which I might just dot it on from the brush, then blend it out. Cool. I don't know how well that's showing. Got quite harsh light on me already. Just blend that out. To redo my brows a little bit because because this has actually hit it where I did my foundation and taken like the edges off a little. Alright, now I'm going to do powder, and I'm going to use the, it's here somewhere, the Air Spun Loose powder. Everyone has this, it's really good, translucent powder. I don't know how this is going to, I feel like this isn't going to work. I just feel like it's going to disrupt the foundation underneath and make it really uneven. I feel like sponges and cotton wool are the best things for it. Okay, so it's picked up obviously everything on there. That's quite a lot of product. Oh dear. Alright, let's give this a go. I feel like I'm doing this the wrong way. I feel like I should be patting it on and then knocking it off with this maybe. Alright, that's given a really, like almost too full. That's saved so much product. I wasn't expecting that much product to go on. So it's really like completely covered the contour, even though I was trying to avoid it, and definitely covered the highlight. So I'm going to have to do that again. Again, it just picks up so much product, which is great, but especially with powder, I like a lighter powder because I don't know, I feel like it's a bit quite cakey, but it's gone on quite smooth. It's not too cakey considering, so I'm quite proud of that. Proud of that, happy with that. Alright, so I'm not going to do a contour powder again because I just think it's a contour inner thingy again, what's it called? Another foundation thing again because I feel like it's just going to get too heavy. So I'm going to do the next one, which is going to be a powder. And I'm going to use this one by Morphe, Morphe Makeup Geek, which is Half-Hearted, which is a warm medium contour. And I'm going to try just use just the teardrop of it. But like again, I should maybe apply this with a foundation and then go, this blends off. Okay, that's picked up so much. Can you see how dark that is at the top compared to the rest? Oh god, okay, I'm going to have to be so light-handed with this. Here we go. It's kind of hard to be light-handed though because you have to hold it like this. Okay, because there's so much product on here, I'm actually going to do like around my hairline and things too. Actually quite happy with that. It's a lot more subtle than I thought it would be considering how much I picked up. So yeah, happy with that. It looks alright in the mirror. I'm not sure how it's showing on camera. Yeah, I mean it could be a little bit more blended, but it's hard to get it just in the right place with this. That's why that is. And I think that's it. I'm not going to bother trying to apply blusher on because I feel like it's just going to be the same as the dark brown contour, so I'm going to do that now just with a brush and just finish it and then come talk to you about the overall impressions of what I think of it. Okay, so I've just finished off my face. I've done way too much on my nose, but yeah, I just put on some blusher and some highlights and just finished that all up. So what do I overall think of this? I do think it's a good brush. For £35 though, I do think you can just get one of the Bobbi Brown brushes or something like that and just have the same job. That's £30 you can pick up from the store. It is beautiful. It's like one of the best looking brushes I've ever seen. You can't deny that. I'm not sure it claims to do everything. I think it just says you can use it for foundation and powders or cream or my nose is really bad, sorry. Or something like powders and foundations. It works quite well with cream contours, cream stick foundations I imagine, because that is actually a cream foundation. I imagine that will quite work well with. It does not work well with using concealer and things under the eye, so if you think you're going to get this brush and it's all you're going to need, not going to happen. Still need like a separate concealer brush and maybe a beauty blender and things. The thing, does it beat the beauty blender? Is I think the big question. No, it doesn't. I just don't think anything beats the beauty blender, to be quite honest. This does not pick up product, which is its advantage of the beauty blender, yet it's still so difficult to get used to that, even though it is a good thing. So like I wear so much powder and I never wear this much powder. I feel like I'm suffocating, my skin's just suffocating. And obviously like where it picked up foundation there, it just picked up all of it. Like considering how much, other than the tip, which has loads of product, but you just can't tell there's been much product on that at all, which is insane that it picks up so much. So it just doesn't pick it up and it just doesn't sit on your face. That you do have to get used to. If you want to buy it, I'd still buy it. Like I wouldn't tell you not to buy it, but if you're low on cash and you're looking for that investment piece, you can get it on credit to use it. I think you'll get more use out of it. Easy to use, it's half, even though it's a sponge, an expensive product sponge, and it's a lot worse looking than this, it's still half the price. However, this is still great as for like a small business starting. I think that they've done amazing with this, like amazing with the design, amazing with the idea. I find this really uncomfortable though. So Eloise Beauty, I think they either need to just work on that. I don't know, you can put like some sponging around here. So it's really hard to hold, and it makes you then hold it like that, and then you're applying a lot more pressure than you should be because it's already picking up a lot of product, and you just want to be a bit more gentle with it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on this product. This is like the first time I've ever done something like this. So let me know if you liked it by giving it a thumbs up. Thank you if you've stayed with me this far. I know it's a really long video and I'm really sorry about my nose, it's just got thumbnail. If you haven't, please do subscribe. I'm hoping to do more like this, more testing things, but it's really hard to get them sort of in the first place already. I'll leave the link to the Eloise Beauty and also all the products mentioned down below, as well as the discount code I mentioned. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching.